Sack Marionette, doing business as Bargain Counter Argument, and today I'm celebrating Flip Through Friday with more Griffin and Sabine. I talked about the first book, Griffin and Sabine, back in February. I talked about the second book, Sabine's Notebook, in a couple of weeks ago, mid-March. And today I've got the third book, The Golden Mean. Now, this is the main trilogy. This completes that main trilogy, but there were subsequent books that were just like, I guess, additional material or whatever. Anyway, so to bring you back up to speed, in Griffin and Sabine, it's told through postcards and letters, and we have a graphic artist, an artist living in London, and he gets a letter from a woman living in, also an artist, living in a fictitious South Pacific nation, I should say. And they exchange correspondence, and she tells him that she can sometimes see through his eyes. And so he's intrigued by this. They correspond, and she makes arrangements to come visit him. But when she gets to London, he's not there. There's just a note saying, please go ahead and use my apartment, but I had to leave. I can't cope with any of this. So that was the first book. And at the end, we have this note saying what happened. That these postcards and letters were found pinned to the ceiling of the otherwise empty studio of Griffin Moss. Griffin Moss is missing. And then in the second book, she's staying at his place in London while he's going around the world. He's making his way to the South Seas. And he gets there, he gets very, very sick in the Solomon Islands, and then he flies back to London, and she's like, I'm waiting for you. I'm going to be here these dates. And he's like, I'm coming back these dates. And then he gets there, and oh, look at those gorgeous end papers. There's a note. Griffin Moss returned as promised on the 23rd of July. His house was empty and showed no signs of anyone having been there. And then there's an addendum. Hardly are these words out when we have this. Griffin, I received your Paris card. I waited, but you did not return on the 23rd. I waited until the 31st, but you did not return. What happened? Where are you? Write to me, Griffin. Sabine. So, it seems like he was expecting her to be there, and she wasn't. She was expecting him to show up, and he didn't. So that's where we pick up with The Golden Mean. Now, I got this book in the mail probably about a week or so ago, but I haven't looked at it yet. So here we go. Oh, we got some abstract and potentially alarming. To me, that kind of looks like a skull, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a Rorschach test. And so this is in which the extraordinary correspondence of Griffin and Sabine concludes. Again, written and illustrated by Nick Bantock and published by Chronicle Books of San Francisco. And that's copyright 1993. Par avion, which means airmail. Okay, so he doesn't know what's going on. And then here we have horse. Sickmon Islands, that's the fictitious country that Sabine is from. Okay. Fun city matches and fun collage. So they're trying to figure out what is going on. Ooh, that's pretty. So we're looking at, these are all pretty. Ooh, we have a letter, special delivery with clearly. So by now it's September. This is actually typewritten. Typing is a little bit better than it was in the first book for Griffin. So I just love these books, and I think it would be fun to use a scrapbook to tell a fictitious story. I know scrapbooks, maybe that's kind of a strange thing to say because scrapbooks are supposed to be to document things that actually happened, but a fictitious scrapbook would be a lot of fun. I mean, obviously it is. Simcoe Islands, or Simcoe, just very pretty things. Oh yeah, this is different handwriting. That's from somebody else. Ooh, look at that. This looks like it's Sabine. Sabine? Sabine. I keep not knowing how to pronounce her name. If it's Sabine, Sabina, Sabine, Sabine. More, and by now it is undated. This one's not dated. So nice. There's Victor again. Griffin. Oh my goodness, this is surreal crab imagery. That crab looks like he's playing basketball. I'm saying that because it's March Madness right now, so I got basketball on my mind. Ooh, another letter. Ooh, nice image at the bottom. Of course, like I said, I haven't read this yet, so I'm not sure what all of this means. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. I like all of it. Let's be honest here. Okay, back to Sabine. Ooh. Her job, or at least one of the things she does in her fictitious South Pacific nation, is design the stamps. So when you see these stamps, those have been designed by her. And then at the end, for some years, nothing was heard from either Griffin or Sabine until a young doctor in Kenya received an unusual postcard from a stranger. There's a baby! So like I said, there are more books. I think there are 5 other books that are just like, I guess, supplemental material. I'm not sure. But that is the conclusion. I don't know if I'm going to pick those up because I do like these books, but I don't know that I like them enough to have 8 of them, or if I like to just consider the story to be complete as is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm not the boss of you, and I hope you have a great Friday or Friday night.